congratulations in the chat. The chat is lively. Who do we have? We have Comet and Lukewarm. That's a cool handle, Lukewarm. Lavender Streams, Flippy Troll, I should say. My apologies. And
I'm there.
Oh, hey, it's Narara if you're in the chat, or Dave if you're here with me in the studio. That's right. And Dave is out reporting in the streets. He's beating that pavement for us tonight. In the rain, in the snow, in the hail, he's out there talking to the people.
And now back to you in the studio.
On the pulse. That's right. All right? You got your Southwester, I'm sure. Important thing, though, is this. This station is not supported by any organized group. I was going to say it's not supported by organized crime, which is true.
It's not either of those.
We're not supported by organized crime, but then again, you know, I got to say that government and corporations are the biggest organized crime today, and they put the actual organized, or what we call the organized crime, families and organizations to shame. To shame.
Although I would happily take, some sponsorship in any way.
Yes,
I think we've just eliminated all of our opportunities.
Syndication horse is what you are. You know what? Do it. I'm a hanger on there. So, if you can donate, please do. Any kind of currency, including crypto, is all good. Jingling, folding is better. But you know what? Times are tough all over. And I went shopping for Easter eggs the other day.
No.
Because it's Easter, obviously.
Oh.
I also got to make But the point is this. I just bought a few. I mean, the money is just I might as well just throw it into the street.
I've just gotten into throwing it out the car window as I'm driving.
I think that's a good idea because it's the spending power is it's diminished significantly over the last few
honestly, it doesn't feel like one of those African nations where they had to print the bills with all the numbers and the font was so small you couldn't get enough numbers still on the note.
More zeros! What? More zeros, Joe! Okay. We're running out of zeros. So if you can donate, that's awesome, but maybe as Dave and you're facing, cost of living challenges, which a lot of people in the world are facing today. That's the truth. So maybe
wait. The person in front of me at the shops today had a trolley which wasn't brimming over, and it's not one of those big, American shopping carts. It's one of our conventional size.
The Costco shopping carts where you take your family on camping, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Not one of those. No, it's just a regular sized one. We have a half depth and a full depth. It was a full depth regular size, and it was $400. And it was only groceries. There was nothing else in it.
But did she have fresh fruit?
Yeah, there was there was a big mix. It wasn't all processed foods.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I mean, who can afford fresh? Only the parasites can afford fresh food these days. But I hear you, man. I look. It is unbelievable.
Is it David Jones Food Hall? Is it David Jones or Grandfather's Food Hall?
No, David Jones. David Jones.
Yeah. Where there's no prices on anything.
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
You can't afford it.
Let's just move along. What is that, Father? That, my son, is a grapefruit.
The $20 mango I bought there was bigger than both my fists put together.
Let me finish the intro, and I'll tell you a story about Singapore when I went shopping there. But okay, sorry. So
let's finish the intro.
Today is the 28th of March, 2024. It is, in fact, and I was wrong, by the way, but today is Maundy Thursday. I'll get to that in a second as well. Right. So if you celebrate that, I know in the Philippines it's a public holiday, so all my Filipino friends, enjoy yourself today.
I forgot what I'm supposed to do. Was it burn candles at both ends, or I forget what it was?
I think you should just start burning your fingertips. That'll do. What?
Oh,
no.
Okay.
Don't do that.
It's
catch the cave on air, on the line, all the time, or onto your smart device. You grab an app to listen anywhere, or listen at home on a Grey Stable Digital Radio. Hey,
totally.
But you know what? The archives are free. That's right. Not a thing to pay. You just go and enjoy the content. Before we start broadcasting in anger, we really have started already, but we'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land from which we broadcast, and for Dave.
For me, it's the Bunjalung.
not for much longer. And for myself, of course, to the Ark people, and we would like to pay our respects to elders past, present, and future.
Yes,
but look,
we do.
let's launch right back into it. The cost of living, Dave, it's a shocker. I mean, and then look, we're not even Okay, so 30 years ago. Oh, 30 years ago, when I was but a wee little boy. I went shopping. Came to Australia 30 years ago, and we went shopping to, I can't remember, one of those supermarkets, and we filled up 2 trolleys for $100. Two trolleys, and all kinds of, because it was the shop we had, new house, etc., whatever. So now I dare you to go into a grocery store with $100. I dare you to just bring $100. There's no way. Not if you're shopping. Okay, if you're a single person, Dave, I think that's okay. I think you can. As a family person like yourself and myself, we got, we are breeders, so if we have extended responsibilities, we got to bring the cash. But yeah, look, sorry, but I do want to make a correction. Dave was correct. It is actually Shrove Tuesday, also known as Pancake Tuesday. That was last Tuesday. Oh, this Tuesday just passed. And then there's Ash Wednesday. We all know this. Today is Maundy Thursday, which is an interesting one. Like I said, public holiday in the Philippines, and I think in a few other really Maundy. So Maundy, right? Maundy. And it comes from the Latin word mandatum, I've been reliably informed. And essentially, it commemorates the washing of the feet, Maundy, and the Last Supper of Jesus Christ with the apostles as described in the canonical Gospels. That's Thursday. Maundy Thursday or Holy Thursday. Washing of the feet, that's what it's commemorated. And then, of course, we know what Good Friday is. That's when it all went down. Then Easter, Easter Saturday, Sunday, he was dead, and Monday he rose again, or at least so the story goes. So that's where we are. So
he missed the whole weekend, Becky.
Missed the whole weekend. Yeah, I know, right? Well, man, I was partying so hard. I can't remember a thing. I woke up in this cave, and I don't know what went on, right? What?
But I bet he woke up with a traffic cone.
Yeah, probably. It'd be funny.
I just mixed two very funny comedy bits there. One was Jim Owen about he missed the weekend, and the other one was from Red Dwarf. So,
yeah, but the thing is, nobody outside Australia knows Jim Owen. That's the funny thing.
I know. He's only popular here.
Yeah, I know.
That's right.
Even in Ireland, he's not funny. He's just a regular guy.
Yeah. We got 100 of them in the pub.
Yeah,
down.
Yeah. See, in the basement.
So Becky, I sent you a link, and it's a great link because you are reminiscing about the olden days.
The olden.
Yeah.
Olden. Oh, yeah, the Four Yorkshiremen.
I like it. To have a room. We used to live in a corridor.
Oh, you had the corridor, huh? We lived in a hall. Oh, lucky you, in a hall, eh? Fancy pants.
We used to dream of living in a corridor. That would have been a palace to us. We used to live in an old water tank on a rubbish tip.
What Dave is just renditioning for you is Monty Python's The Four Yorkshiremen. And it's gold. I mean, it's really old, but it's gold. So if you haven't seen it, try to find it on YouTube. It's really just called The Four Yorkshiremen. That'll find it for you.
I'll just paste it into the chat room anyway.
Thanks, brother. It's comedy gold. It really is. But yeah. So look, that's the one correction I wanted to make. Dave was right. So it's in fact Shrove Tuesday.
I don't hear that very often, Mickey. And it just feels weird.
I know. You're married, right? That's the problem.
That's right.
and today.
What are you doing to me?
Monty, I'm feeling
you. You mean that was an option the whole time?
I'm giving you hope, Dave. That's my crime. But I'm sure they're gonna get us for blasphemy on this one.
I didn't know that was an option the whole time.
Beamer, he may change at any moment. He may change form at any moment. There's one other thing I forgot to mention last time, and it was really bothering me. I don't know if you remember the article that was posted about a structure in Indonesia, which was purported to be
that was retracted.
Well, yeah, about 25,000 years old. I mean, the research had been done for years. They did X-rays and ground penetrating radar. They took samples. They carbon dated stuff. I mean, the whole shebang, right?
Yeah.
And then a whole bunch of people spoke up and said, "Oh no, we don't like that at all. That's complete nonsense. It's impossible for something." And they took issue with the fact that it was called a pyramid. A pyramid.
Not any other detail, but that in particular, yeah.
That was the one thing that they kept harping on about. I watched the critique, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a guy, an archaeologist, American, and he invited a couple of senior Indonesian archaeologists. I'm in my mind they're just all Zahir was now, and they were just going on, that's impossible, blah blah blah, and we don't, this is not right. And anyway, and this is of course the Gunung Padang site, okay, and they called it the ancient. Look, it is conical in shape. Is it a perfect pyramid like we understand it? No, it is not. It is not a pyramid. It is a stepped platform, yes, and it consists of 5 artificial terraces. Okay, that's a fact.
Great.
What they're disputing is the age of the thing, and they say, no, just because there was dirt there, you can't do this. And look, it doesn't fit the picture. The problem, of course, is with Göbekli Tepe, and now they found many other Göbekli Tepes around there. That broke history, 12,000 years old, and that was hard enough to swallow, but it couldn't be debunked. It couldn't be debunked.
Well, it can't be. It's right? There.
Now, with this one, because nobody ever gets here, no one ever goes to Gunung Padang. It's hard to get to, whereas Göbekli Tepe, that's pretty easy. There's a flight and a bit of a car drive, but this is not easy.
Done.
So, and not only that, but now they're saying, 20-something thousand years? Ooh. you can feel their tooth enamel melting when they think about that date. But the problem is that the article was published in an archaeological magazine. Okay, so that's all good. But then it was retracted. The magazine decided, I better not upset the other archaeologists.
Too touchy, right? Yeah.
Well, the thing is this. Let's unpack this just for a second. So this is a magazine that publishes in the world of archaeology. That's what they do. Scientific magazine, right?
I'd imagine they'd be breaking new ground, so to speak. Mind the pun.
See, this is the thing, right? And this is important to understand. It's okay to break little ground, okay? You can't break. You can't dig a massive hole and then tip everything that we've been thinking for the last 100 years into it, which is pretty much what this did. But I'm just astounded because that is censorship. And then I went to look at what this actually was all about. I mean, essentially what was the
crux of the matter?
Yeah, and the actual original authors, excuse me, they responded to the critique. They responded to the withdrawal of the article, right? Very concisely. I thought it's available on the internet. You can look at it yourself. I haven't seen a rebuttal from official archaeology. But having said that, the guys that did this in Indonesia, they're archaeologists. They're university accredited. They're not some rogue scientists. Worse yet, some rogue amateurs. They're coming up. So they followed rigorous scientific protocols when they did this. Very similar to the lady in America. I don't know if you remember this.
Right.
But that's not good enough. Yeah. So now we've seen censorship in action. And a friend of mine on Facebook said, if the article is factually wrong, then it's okay to withdraw it. I said, yes, you're correct. Except this article wasn't wrong. Okay. Then I posted the actual critique, and I posted the rebuttal, and I posted, because you have to have information. Because if this happens, it's like seeing a cop in the street beat up on an old man or old woman. You're not going to help because it's a cop doing it, right? Now this is the same. If the article is retracted, the assumption is that it's wrong.
I smell a defriending happening here.
No, it's not good.
Just like last time.
Yeah, but there was. But
slightly different context, but
The funny thing is, his wife told him he can't win an argument with Mackie.
Good luck with that.
Anyway, but no, it's all good. And look, if you don't look into it deeply, that's what you would think. I was actually glad that he said that, because it made me then look at it more deeply.
That's right.
So I was prompted to research it further.
Mackie.
Yeah, correct. And lo and behold, it was an invalid retraction. The retraction only happened because it was, I guess, pressurized or forced upon the magazine by the archaeological community, who do not agree with what was stated as fact or
very particular.
So it is astounding to see this in action, because we talk about this. Dave and I talk about this a lot: censorship, and what's allowed, self-censorship as well. Certain things aren't studied because, well, either there's no money in it, because as a scientist you still have to live and eat, right? And people are being discouraged from certain fields of study. That's the truth. It is the truth. And you do something else, right? So or you come across a story maybe as a journalist, and you go, yeah, do I really want to bring that story out there? Is it really worth my life? And some journalists, to their credit, they said, yeah, I will. And they usually fall out of windows.
Slippery floors, make you watch out for those in those open windows.
Or they drown. That's right. Or they drown at the breakfast table. But there are, it's a real thing. And this was the first time in a long time that it happened in such a blatant fashion. Right, where people were going, this is all wrong nonsense, and it's wrong because, well, it has to be wrong.
And publicly.
And the thing is this: the argument here is it's wrong because it has to be wrong, and then it's not a real pyramid anyway. Okay, let's call
it a structure and shut up.
Yeah, it's a terrace structure. Let's do that. How's that? Is that better? You feel better now? Let's not call it a pyramid. Okay. I mean, the pyramid. It's not a real pyramid anyway, because you know how many sides it has? 8.
That's right.
8.
Giza Plateau.
That's right.
The largest one has 8 sides, not 4.
8 sides. Don't make it. That's not true. It's only 4. Blah blah blah.
The center of each one is closer to the middle.
Yes.
Each side, because it's got 4. It's a square-based pyramid, and of each side, just looking at one side, the middle of that bottom edge is closer to the middle of the pyramid. That comes in on all 4 sides in the middles.
So it is not actually a pyramid either.
That's right.
Oh, what? You can't say that. What is going to have your head?
You're going to hell, Mackie. Hey, guess what? Did you see this thing I sent you about New Zealand? It's okay if you haven't seen it entirely. But it,
go on.
But it falls exactly into the same thing.
I haven't seen the video because I saw someone saying, as in response to the video, I went through all the comments without watching the video. I haven't watched it because I wanted to see what people are saying. And one person said, this has been debunked, blah, 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 whatever. I go, okay, well, let me see it first. Then I'll make up my own mind. But what they're saying is it's a natural formation. And I'm thinking, oh, really? Because, again, I haven't seen the video in totality, so I don't know what it looks like, but they're saying it's a natural formation of the stone just cracked in the way it did.
Yeah, all the stones are 800 by 1 meter, almost perfectly. I mean, the same kind of stone joints as you find in megalithic structures all around the world, with no gap at all. They're sitting on completely flat ground, and what's exposed is measurable and absolutely a wall. But there's more examples, not just in this one face that faces perfectly north, like the pyramid in Giza, Becky. It's aligned to the north, east, west, north, south. But the problem is that it's been dated or guesstimated, because they're not allowed to do any archaeological touch. You're not allowed to touch it at all. At around 30,000 years old.
Well,
and the problem is that the Maori in New Zealand arrived there about 700 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who said that we're the only ones, but the elders said, "Oh no, there was people not here when we got here, but there was evidence there was people here before we arrived." There was, when we got there for the first time, there was already evidence that people had been here. Is what they said. But it was a long time, ancient people. Yeah. And they built all this stuff, and we're not even owning it.
Yeah, because right now, 2 things. the contention, right? Or not the contention. The accepted official view is that New Zealand was the last, apart from Antarctica, the last landmass to be populated by people.
The major landmass, that's right.
The last one. Okay?
Yeah, and I was telling my father that when the sea level was 100 meters lower than it is, that Zealandia or Mu or whatever you want to call it went from, the Great Barrier Reef out to Tonga all the way down to New Zealand as we know it today, but much broader. It was a huge landmass.
And there's some evidence that this hypothetical Mu or Lemuria continent might have gone all the way to Easter Island.
Yeah, that's right.
In this expanse. But again, the second thing is, as I was going through the comments, all the comments by the Maori people, by the people that identify themselves as Maori, they say, I'll give you an example here. I'm a Maori. I want to know what it is. How self-absorbed are we to think we're the first on this planet? There could have been 1,000 civilizations before us. Another one. As a Maori, I want to know the history of the ancients that used to live in New Zealand as much as I want to know about the ancients who lived in other places as well.
That's right.
Etc., etc. And all the other Maoris, all the people again that identify themselves as Maori say this. This is an interesting one here. Maori oral history speaks of the red-headed tall ones that were here before them.
Yeah.
Also known as the Tanga Te Wenua. I'm sure I killed.
That's right. No, that's very close, Mickey.
And they taught them how to grow kumara, the only crops grown by Maori before the Europeans arrived. So these are just comments from people that watched this video.
That's right.
Okay. So,
did you know that
I will watch it.
The Maori Council themselves put a stop to archaeology digs. No investigation, nothing. You're not allowed to even visit it anymore.
Oh, really?
Brian Forster went there, so we can get him on the show. He'll come on the show and talk about it. And also David Childress.
Yes. David
has been there. Now, I've talked to him about coming on the show, and he kind of doesn't want to, but...
okay.
But Brian Foster will come on, not a problem.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and they went there before the site was closed. And they had a look at all the other stones, and there's all angled stone cuts, and they're all identical at the same level in this wall. So, look, I wasn't surprised by it. I was surprised that I found this video, which came from a documentary that was made in the 80s about it. I was surprised that I stumbled upon it. It's kind of like the existential detective, Mickey.
I know, right?
Right? I did nothing, and there it is.
Yeah.
Right? I just stumbled upon it. So it completely matches the narrative that we're talking about in the megalithic structures all around the world. It makes sense, and we're finding more of it, and we're finding out more of it's hidden and ignored or, blatantly shut down.
But this is the critical thing to understand, because we focus on the flood and the catastrophe. That's what we all focus on. And I know it's sensational, and it seems cool and full of action. Like the entire face of the planet changed, etc. Okay, I can understand that, and I know why people focus on that. But you got to take a step back here, right? And this is what you have to think about now. During the Ice Age, which covered a whole bunch of northern Europe in glaciers, right? Mm-hmm. And the only habitable zone, really, was it's still a fairly broad strip around the equator. It was very nice there. Not only that, but there was a lot more land available then, comparatively speaking. Maybe even more land than we have today after the Ice Age. Way more,
yeah.
Right? So, and this is where it gets. And I don't understand what the resistance is. Is it so hard to imagine us, the people like us, right? And again, the way we are now scientifically accepted is that we are about 300,000 years old. That's what they say. I think we're a lot older, but that's neither here nor there. But 300,000 years, and the conditions around the equator would have been ideal for a civilization or civilizations. Not only that, the land could. You didn't really have to contend with these massive oceans. Yes, there were oceans, but they weren't as massive as they are today because the ice was all locked up. The water was in the ice,
Yeah.
right? So there was a lot less ocean, if you will, to navigate. So you could walk everywhere, pretty much. And so why wouldn't civilization flourish? Why is it so hard for us? Would it be like ours? No, it'd be different. They would have different technology. It'll be different things they would have done. And you look at the things they did. I mean, we have it. The megalithic structures are there. You can't deny it.
You can stand
they
on your head.
exist.
They're still there.
Yeah. And in fact, once our civilization vanishes, they will still be there. Okay?
That's right.
So
That's
that's
right.
the thing. And maybe that'll be the only thing left of us, all the whatever, big stone things we built. But the point is this. Why is it so hard for us to say, when I say us, I guess it's the scientific establishment, yes, it's possible that there was and I think there were many, but let's just stay with one.
Yeah.
There was a civilization 40, 30,000 years ago, whatever, that maybe lasted for 10, 15,000 years, achieved really high technological achievements, went to, explore the solar system, maybe went to other star systems, I don't know, right? But did a whole bunch of stuff, but used completely different technology to us. And we know this because there's some is still left. The acupuncture of the Chinese, the Vedic or Ayurvedic medicine of the Indians.
Just remember the maps, Mickey, that showed Antarctica without ice.
Well, exactly, and that's been there for a little while.
That's right.
And all the other systems of thinking, like astrology. Now, funnily enough, I watched this documentary recently. It was a science documentary around the influence that gravity and radiation has on us, etc. And looked at a whole bunch of stuff. And scientists are now coming around to thinking, you know what? Well, there is radiation coming from obviously, stars, our sun, everywhere, and maybe, just maybe, astrology has something. Maybe there's something there
to it. Yeah.
Now, if you're an advanced civilization, and let's for argument's sake that's been around for 10,000 years, and you've been able to build on your knowledge, you would have a pretty rich data set there, right? Especially if you're trying to connect the celestial things, like star constellations, to people's, I guess, personalities, etc., etc., right? So I think these, because we don't really know how it all came, because it's very complex. It's very, very complex. My grandmother used to do it, right? It's a very complex thing. It's ancient. It goes way back when. I mean, there was astrology, and then there was astronomy after that, right? Where we sort of did away with all the what people call the woo-woo stuff. But there seems to be a lot to it. And acupuncture, well, that seems to work, right? The Chinese energy grids, when they do feng shui, well, that seems to work as well. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we laugh at, right? But then we go, oh, maybe we shouldn't laugh so loudly, right? And that, to me, are remnants of another tech that survived the catastrophe, because people would remember certain things. I mean, it's just natural for people to retain some knowledge, and maybe the people that helped them build up again, because there's stories about that, maybe they just took that old knowledge and gave it back to the people, right? And don't forget that astronomy developed out of astrology.
That's right.
So and the other thing is random number generators and oracles. So you got the tarot, you got other methods of trying to foretell the future. Who is to say that you're not somehow tapping into some kind of energy grid that allows you glimpses, right? I mean, that could be a whole other tech as well, which we completely dismiss now. So again, Dave, my question is, why are we so viciously, and the word is vicious, why are we so viciously opposed to that kind of thinking?
I know it's bizarre. Look, one thing still has my mind boggled, and that is the ancients and their ability to find the energy zones on a planet with ley lines and where they cross over. That is something else. And we don't have anything publicly, of course, that we could detect where we should be. Where is it better to be? We don't. Money drives everything, and At the moment, the value of them, of a place to be, is on its serviceability, not the energy field that is naturally abound there, with the Earth divided into 8 points, right, and lines dissect or go through every single ancient structure on the planet. I was reminded, Mickey, of the schoolboy, the 8-year-old, who saw that the ancient South American Aztec cities matched the constellations in the stars. And there was one missing. And he said, there's one there where there was a star in the sky, but on the ground there was nothing. There wasn't a discovered city. And no one believed him. Someone took him seriously when he showed the overlay of the star field on the city plan across South America. And they matched perfectly. And he proved to him, I reckon if you dig there, it's going to be fine. And there was one there. There wasn't in between. There was one there, exactly. So...
See, it is... Go on.
No. Well, I mean, my point is that the same kind of person looked at the biblical texts and found, was it Mount Sinai? From the biblical texts, right? Went, like, I'm going to walk this way. This is what it says to do. Here, oh, there's the monument. It says blah, blah. Here's the mountain. Yeah, okay. With instead of people going, oh, all of that stuff in the Bible is just nonsense. No, there's nuggets of truth everywhere, and we should really be looking into it.
Look,
that's where I have a hard time with this lockstep academia, poncing around with their leather elbowed jackets and their turtlenecks with their pipes and berets. I'm making a stereotype. I don't believe it's real. Just with their tenure and their grants and what they did their doctorate on in their given subject is now old. It's passé. It's now incorrect. And they refuse to let it go.
Yeah, they still hold the strings of power. You're right. Look, the examples you give, I mean, the history is rife. I mean, Schliemann found Troy. Joseph Blumrich built a patented, I guess, like in fact, it looks a lot like a drone from descriptions of Ezekiel from the Bible. So Joseph Blumrich was a NASA engineer, and he built the flying, shuttle based on the description that he got in the Bible. And you can go on. I mean, the Vedas are full of the Vimanas, the flying machines, and they used it's very descriptive. And Mercury seems to have been used in the propulsion. And in fact, there have been tests done now, and Mercury, for the kind of engine it might have been, it works very well. Thank you very much. It's sort of like a electromagnetic kind of arrangement. Anyway. But Flea is right as well in the chat. Thanks, Flea. It's the let's call them the psychos, the parasites that run this world, right? And they can't have us know the truth. Imagine if we said, yes, there was a massive civilization. It was this, that we did this, we did that. That's ours. We've gone here and there. And before that, there was another one. And another one, and another one. And you ask yourself then at that point, this is the question. So what happened to all of them? What happened to those civilizations? Why did they not survive? Why were they destroyed? I mean, look at what they achieved. What happened? Is this a regular thing? Is it deliberate? There's a science fiction story. I know I talk about science fiction stories a lot. But this was a planet that every 2,000 or 3,000 years or less would undergo, severe cataclysmic changes, and people would be thrown back to the Stone Age. And the reason that was happening is because the Galactic Empire recruited their soldiers from this planet, and they needed someone that was hardened, that didn't have all the niceties of civilization, etc. So they needed hard people, for their armies, as it were. And so every few thousand years, this planet was thrown back into darkness to harden more people as they went through. I'm not saying that's happening here. What I'm saying is something, and it's part of the hypothesis, of course, something is giving us collective amnesia. Something is wiping out the civilizations that we built on this planet on a regular basis. I really believe that's the case, because I think in line with the Egyptians, and this is not just the Egyptians, but the Maya said this, the Indians are saying it. Yeah, there was, I mean, when Solon went to Egypt, and we've talked about the story, and he spoke to the high priests there, he goes, oh, you've got a flood myth as well, he said to them. Yes. But you Greeks are like children. And Solon goes, why would you say that? Well, you remember one flood when there have been so many.
Yeah.
The Maya, according to the Mayas, we're now living in the fifth world. The last world was destroyed by water. Ooh. In the Indian Vedas, you speak about the yugas, the ages of the world.
That's
right. And the destruction and the rebirth that follows each. It's even a theme in the Matrix, the movie.
That's
Of course, the Wachowski sisters, I should say now, are well read, and they understand the ancient myths just as well as another well read person would. And in their narrative, the city, the last city, which Silo, no, can't think of the name now. Zion, thank you. Is destroyed over and over again, with only a few selected to survive, to start again, and so on and so forth, right? Because of course Neo thinks there was only one destruction in the past, but in fact Zion has just been destroyed many times.
Rinse and repeat.
Correct, and I think without saying it, the Wachowskis are saying exactly what Dave and I are saying, and what others have said before us. Look, this is actually what's happening. Now, no, do I believe we live in a matrix like in the movie? I don't. But that's neither here nor there. I think what we're living is much more complex and much more insidious. And it does recycle our souls back into here over and over again, right? We can't get out. And it is this narrative that comes through in all the ancient teachings, and now, of course, also in modern culture, if you will. Only the first movie, though. Don't bother about the other three. It's really not.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It was when I first saw it. I remember the ads for it. I thought, oh wow, this is amazing. I wonder what this is. And then I watched it and I go, yeah.
Becky,
thank you.
I knelt down and cried.
Well, yeah, I felt. I'll be honest with you. I didn't feel so alone anymore. Because here are clearly some smart people that have enough money or got enough money to make this movie that pretty much, well, still, it's a popular movie, I get it, and, there have to be action elements in it, I get that too, but the philosophical, I guess, base for the movie, the meat of it, the deep thinking
it's the
analysis,
machinery that makes it work, Mickey.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. It's
fantastic, and I haven't seen anything like that before. Apart from, Platos Cave, which I read when I was 12 or 13, I can't remember. And I thought to myself, wow, this is... And I couldn't wait for the next installments, because I thought, okay, right, now we're getting to the meat. No, we went Star Wars. We actually went the way of the Schwartz. The Schwartz. The quest for more merchandise. Yeah. I mean, what?
With ludicrous speed, Mickey.
Yeah, but what an awesome start it was. I mean, and then there were imitations, the 13th Floor, Existence. They were all good in their own rights, I thought. I really liked the 13th Floor, where, I'll be living in a simulation, and what happens if the entities, the beings, cross between the worlds. And I thought the 13th Floor did it exceedingly well. I don't know if you've seen it. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It is really excellently done. But yeah, Dave, look, I'm so upset at this censoring of the article, because now people will think, oh, it's wrong.
That's right.
The research is wrong.
Take home.
Yeah, the conclusions are wrong. and no one will bother reading the rebuttal. No one will bother reading the actual reason for the withdrawal, which is spurious at best. Because I read it. Look, I did read it. I looked at it. I looked at the rebuttal. Okay, I was very disappointed that this very slipshod kind of argument would be enough to get this article removed. But again, like I said, this is a magazine that needs to make money. People need to, publish the articles. And if the archaeologists boycott the magazine,
then
that's it.
There's nothing. That's right. So is that the same as CNN being left-leaning panders to their audience?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course. 100%.
Yeah. Because that's your audience. If you start being right-wing and you've got a left-wing audience, you're going to lose all the people, all your listeners,
Yeah.
your demographics.
You get other
disappear.
people, but maybe you don't want those people, you know?
No, you want people who slather left. They
Actually,
slobber.
Do you know what this reminds me of, Dave?
What's that?
We all remember the 2008 financial crisis, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the fundamental...
Those banksters.
The banksters. No, come on. Hey, they're just guys like you and me. Come on. The fundamental...
Oh, that's right. Yes, I love the leader.
Yeah, that's right. The underlying crux of the matter was this.
What's that?
The toxic mortgages that had been rolled into financial instruments, let's call them that, but that's what they call them, were certified.
That's like a lucky dip.
They were pretty much. They were AAA rated, right? When they should have been C rated or at best.
Yeah.
By the ratings agencies like Moody's and whoever else there is, right? Now, it's the same issue though. So remember, the magazine needs to make money, right? So people have to send articles there. So these ratings agencies, it's not that they didn't know that they were certifying toxic assets and assets that might never make their money back.
You, Mickey.
Yeah, we had people buying houses that should never have bought houses. Everybody should be able to buy a house, but you should be able to afford it. If you can't afford it, well, that's a problem. But in America, it's not a problem for you. It's a problem for the bank.
Yeah.
And so they AAA rated them, because if they hadn't, then the banks would have just gone to another ratings agency. Because the people that pay for those ratings are the banks. Now, Dave, tell me what's wrong with this picture. So here I am. I'm sitting my exam at university. I'm just about to get my PhD. But then I get to mark my own paper, and I get to give myself whatever mark I would like. What do you think I would give myself?
Oh, you're going to get top marks for sure.
Top marks!
Yeah.
Top
Love
marks!
your work.
Yeah, me too. I love my work. Right? I mean, that's what happened here. I mean, you go, what? That can't be right. But then you actually look into it more deeply, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the tip of the iceberg. So if you want to sleep at night, don't look into it any more deeply than what I just told you, because unfortunately, these people, let's call them people. These people are signing their own homework. They're eating your lunch, they're signing their own homework, and they're sleeping with the teacher. Okay?
Wow.
And that's where we are.
Yeah, in Australia, the building industry is marking its own work.
Oh my God, yes.
Because our government decided, we don't need independent inspectors anymore. Surely you can just inspect your own staff. And as soon as we did that, we found that the integrity, the structural integrity of buildings was purely for, profit purposes. It wasn't an engineering purpose.
No.
So really poor foundations, structurally questionable. And there's some towers that have been built in Sydney, for instance, which aren't inhabitable anymore.
Massive cracks. And the thing is, you know what the funny thing is? Nobody's responsible.
Oh yeah.
Like, so let's say this is a high-rise 20 stories, let's call it, right? In Mascot. Massive cracks have appeared. People had to be evacuated in the foundation. These cracks are in the foundation, right?
Yeah.
People are evacuated. And who's liable? It turns out nobody is liable.
That's right. And the building's still there, and they can't pull it down because no one wants to wear the cost.
No. So I mean, at this point, you think,
what do you do? Right.
But the thing is, there can't be no. But of course, the thing is, yes, that's exactly where we are.
Well, you talk to a bureaucrat about it, and they go, "Oh no, it's kind of in limbo. There's nothing."
It's all regular. But the thing is, this is the problem with deregulation all over the place. So whenever you hit deregulation, you should start sweating a lot. Cold sweat should be pouring down your back.
Just remember the conversation that came before the approval to deregulate was it'll streamline everything.
Yes. It'll become more competitive, blah blah blah. All the usual
market
nonsense.
forces, Mickey.
Yeah. Trickle down economics. Capitalism is going to regulate. The market is going to regulate itself. What was it? His name? I forget his name now. The chief of the Federal Reserve in America. It's been there for he was there for 1,000 years. Anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
And he said, "Oh no, I was wrong."
Greenspan.
Alan Greenspan. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was wrong. Oh,
that's right. Wrong the whole time.
My entire so he's been advocating deregulation and self-regulated capital markets, etc., all that, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Seems that I was wrong for like 1,000 years, however long he was there, right? What? And so deregulation, invariably, there hasn't been a single case where this isn't happened. Invariably, it has led to worse service and to a worse outcome overall for you and me. Every single time. There has never been a single case, and I'm happy to pay anyone who can show me otherwise. I will give you $1,000 US if you can show me a single case where deregulation has resulted in a better outcome. Not for the parasites, for the people.
That's right,
okay?
For the people, yeah.
Never. And in Australia, we deregulated Telstra. That worked out real well.
It just made it really complicated to try and deal with them because they couldn't. There was 3 different companies working under the same roof. It's impossible.
Yeah. And of course, Flea is right. You gotta blame the workers, not the bosses.
Damn
it's never
straight.
the boss's fault.
So it's the frontline people who were just being told what to do. Yeah, that's right.
See, but the thing is this. I mean, you have to really wonder if this person. I mean, for me, there are only 2 outcomes here. Either this person was truly naive or even stupid that made the decision to deregulate the building, right? Or on the tape. There's no middle ground.
They couldn't refuse the dump truck full of money, Mickey.
How many dump trucks? All of them.
All of them.
Because if you just spend 10 minutes thinking about it and human nature and what drives our civilization, right? 10 minutes. The answer will be, people like to make money. Money is good. I like money. Money fight. As soon as you realize that's what drives people, it's not like, I want to build the best houses for reasonable prices, and I want to make a small profit, just enough so I can live. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, really? That's reality. I want to live on your planet. That's what I want to do. I'm moving.
Rainbows.
I'm sorry.
Lollipops and...
I kill myself.
Is it sunshine, lollipops and rainbows, everything?
And here are your rainbow glasses. You can now fart lollipops. Okay.
Hey, Ricky, look, I heard a story. I heard a story about this this week, and I'd totally forgotten about it until just then. Remember the sunglasses from Hitchhiker's Guide that go...
Don't pan. Yeah, they're complete black.
They go completely black so that the wearer is not... so they can remain calm in the face of danger.
Yes.
When the sunglasses detect danger, they go black and you're unawares of anything. Did you know that there's an AR headset now that can do the same thing in any situation.
You're kidding.
No, I am not kidding.
Wow!
I'll send you. I'll send you some links.
Ostrich glasses. I would like to.
That's right. Woohoo!
Wow.
It's so that people who the woke people won't be offended.
Wow. I mean, I don't even know. I mean,
I don't know what to say.
What do you say to that, Dave? What? What?
As long as I can wear that thing over my mouth, so as I'm screaming in displeasure, no one else can hear it but me.
Oh man. See,
right? As long as I've got that, I'm fine.
You know, at the end of 1984, it said there, the future of the human race is. I'm paraphrasing. The future of the human race is a boot stomping on a face forever. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. It is cubicles full of humans wearing VR sets in diapers. That's the future of the human race. Completely oblivious to anything else. Oh, by the way, speaking about diapers, sorry, this just came to me. Japan, for the first time in its history, is now producing more adult diapers than baby diapers. So that's a real thing. The population is aging, everybody. More adult diapers in Japan than baby diapers.
That's definitely a measure of the cross-section of society. And I've got, it's crazy. I've got another one. This is only really quick though. Poland today, I think it's the 29th or 28th. I think it's today in Poland. They now have national service back.
Really?
It was signed on the 7th of March, and it's happening today.
That's big. That's big.
I know. I had to bring it up.
Wow.
It's definitely Plato's Cave-ish.
No. That's 100%, my friend. Just remind me of something else. Dave and I, from the start, have said that the Gaza war is about emptying Gaza of Palestinians.
That's correct.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, this is in the BBC. This is the BBC World News. Gaza war. UN rights expert accuses Israel of acts of genocide. This is what they say here. Francesca Albanese, the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the occupied Palestinian territories, presented her report to UN member states in Geneva on Tuesday. And she believes Israel has committed acts of genocide in Gaza. She concluded that there are reasonable grounds to believe that the threshold indicating the commission of the crime of genocide against Palestinians as a group in Gaza has been met. They want to empty Gaza of Palestinians. That's just what they want to do.
The way you read that, it sounded like they were going to get a level up to the next level.
Level up.
They'd hit the threshold. Woo!
Yeah. Well, they've killed at this point. Oh, sorry, I should say. As of today, it's about 33,000 people were killed. 33,000.
So shocking.
We're well on the way to my prediction of 100,000, and if I'm right, then it'll be well above that as well. But they will certainly get to 100,000.
Well, what Russia's losing 200,000 a year or something, and their war.
Yeah. But that's insanity. That's an even bigger. I mean.
Well, you wait till France has got boots on the ground and Poland's setting dudes in, right?
Oh yeah, but look,
it's going to be all in really quickly. I'm going to say 2024 is the year.
It's possible. Look, the thing is this: when things go sideways, they go sideways fast. What seems impossible today is reality tomorrow, and it's always been that way with these kinds of things. You just go along thinking nothing could happen, and boom! What happened here? All your plans.
I saw a job advertised. Because I'm kind of looking right now. I saw a job advertised for a war specialist.
Okay.
For the Australian military.
So someone that has experience in war?
No, it didn't say anything about experience.
Just a specialist.
Sure, why not?
I know about war. There's a lot of stuff happening. Whoa, you're a specialist.
I play CNC. Well, I should know.
That's interesting. A war specialist.
Yeah. There's music.
You're kidding. No. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Short hour as it was. Don't go anywhere. I'm sure something awesome is going to come up just after. This has been Plato's Cave. We really do thank you for your listenership. And most of all, though, be safe.